As Badan Gopal just told you, we are doing 2 petitions in the Supreme Court. To hold it closer. I'll do a bit of both here. There are 2 petitions in the Supreme Court by parents of young women who died very proximate to the taking of the vaccine. So I was not so educated in this vaccine conspiracy and so on. And I came to learn about the whole dark kind of conspiracy that existed around vaccines. तो फर्स्ट उदाहरण ये था, जो लड़की यंग लड़की थी, उन्होंने वैक्सीन लिया, वैक्सीन के कुछ दिन बाद काफी मतलब प्रॉक्सिमेट थे, तो बहुत जबरदस्त हेडेक हो गया। डॉक्टर के पास गया, डॉक्टर साहब ने कहा कि तुम पेन किलर ले लो, और तेज हो गया। Headache became even more severe, and the doctors keep prescribing painkillers and anti-allergy tablets and so on, which is an indicator that the medical community in India also, until recently, I think now the community is waking up. Too many doctors are dying. The medical community also had no idea that a kind of a clot in the brain or a clot in the heart or a clot in the stomach. You will forgive me, I mean, after listening to Dr. Natarajan, I feel a little hesitant to comment on these things because I know actually quite little and I've been learning as I go along in the case. So sad that you didn't know what to do with these young women, hale and hearty women who suddenly, and it's only, and they go to the best of hospitals as well. One went to Apollo and so on, and they don't know what to do with a vaccine-related rapidly developing scenario of death. And then at some late stage, some MRI is done, and then it's too late. And then मौतें होने के बाद भी कोई सच बोलने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, ऑटोप्सी ठीक से करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, बताने के लिए कारण क्या है ये तैयार नहीं है. So even after death, nobody is willing to say, let's do an autopsy in a particular way. Let's find out what's happening. And let's at least tell the parents the truth as to why their children died. So for us, it's been for me personally, it's been quite a learning experience, which makes me actually quite angry, quite bitter, and quite resentful of this. And then you see on TV every day, all the rock stars of the medical profession, head of big institutions. And I know in our petition we documented, कुछ डॉक्टर ने कहा कि ये 100% सेफ है, और एक बदमाश डॉक्टर ने कहा कि ये 110% सेफ है. समय आना चाहिए कि एक दिन जब उसको सबको कोर्ट में लिया जाएगा और सारे लोगों के खिलाफ एक ऐसा केस करे ताकि उसका काफी नुकसान हो जाएगा. लेकिन बहुत मुश्किल का संघर्ष था, very difficult struggle. And one reason why it was very difficult, judiciary was not on our side. I heard, how it was said about the media. It was quite an eye-opener for me as well, because some of my friends are in those particular channels mentioned. And I knew that the media was not taking articles, because when we did the petition, हमने अखबारों के एडिटर के पास गए कि इस petition के बारे में कम से कम आप cover करो. Whatever we are writing in the petition, at least you cover, but they were not willing to cover. But for me, the biggest setback कि judiciary judges को petition को लेना वो तैयार नहीं थे. They were totally committed to the government narrative. और मेरे ख्याल से पिछले 1 साल से, for 1 year, we are struggling. We have come up, I don't want to mention names, we have come up against different judges and different benches. And it's been a very deterring experience to see that your Supreme Court, which is otherwise supposed to be so progressive, on the vaccine they were coming. इनका कहना ये था, और बार बार जज साहब ने बोला कोर्ट में कि अगर हम ये पिटीशन को लेगा तो लोग वैक्सीन के खिलाफ होगा और वैक्सीन लेना बंद करेगा. That's a good thing, I thought. If after being told what happens, they stop taking the vaccine and create vaccine hesitancy, I thought that was a pretty good thing, a pretty good reason to do the petition and come. But it was very difficult. Now we are coming very close to the final days of the case. I feel confident about the case. And in the case, I'll just briefly say, we moved in a very simple way. When I saw some of the presentations today, I think we have to go back this evening itself and collect all the information of this meeting, because quite a bit of this is not in our petition. Quite a bit is. Awaken India movement and the parents and those who have suffered have done a heroic job, have done a very good job. But I think I saw some things here which we need to put in, particularly the latest studies to convince, which we do. And Venugopal, you have to do that right away. We have very few days, You've organized this meeting and we have very few days. And I'll take 2 minutes more, if you don't mind. I just want to tell you what we did was we compared the deaths in the UK where the same vaccine was used, and we know how many shots were given to how many people and so on. And if it's the same vaccine, broadly, I know the living standard is better, nutrition is better. This is the argument that we made. So if I'm wrong, if any of you think we were wrong in doing that, please tell us. And we compared it and we said, all right, how can we have so many declared deaths in the UK for the same vaccine, and you come to India, such a minuscule amount of deaths declared, something like 10% of what it ought to be. Then, of course, we looked at the protocol, monitoring protocol. Prashant mentioned about the case that he did, but in that case, the judge has said, and we are stumbling against this casual observation, कि इंडिया में जो मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम था, चेकअप सिस्टम जो था, मौतें होने के बाद वो काफी अच्छा रहा. He gave them a clean sheet. And I'm facing a little bit of headwinds here because I have to say that, that observation was made on a petition which didn't have details about active surveillance and passive surveillance. Passive surveillance मतलब ये है कि सरकार कुछ नहीं करेगा. तुम अगर एफर्ट करोगे, तुम फोन करोगे, तुम बार बार फोन करोगे और बार बार बताएंगे तो वो मुश्किल से वो रजिस्टर में लिखेगा, वो पैसिव सर्वेलेंस है. एक्टिव सर्वेलेंस मतलब अपने आप सरकार अपने आप जाना चाहिए चेकिंग करने के लिए. और हमारा देश में आराम से कर सकता है क्योंकि हमारे देश में आशा सिस्टम है. आशा सिस्टम हर गांव में होता है, आंगनवाड़ी सिस्टम हर गांव में होता है. तो सरकार के पावर है, मिलियंस ऑफ सोशल वर्कर्स इन द सिस्टम, in the health system, millions. So हर गांव में जहां 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, simple, no deed. But they never did that deliberately. No, even passive surveillance and so on. And then we did, I know, we collected some thousands of newspaper reports. क्योंकि हमारा प्रोटोकॉल में लिखा था कि look at your newspaper reports, document that and investigate everyone. So they don't do that. So these people have been killers. Those who ran the system were killers. The vaccine manufacturers, I have no doubt, were killers. I have no doubt that they knew it. And my sister operates in different circles from me. I work with a lot of working class people and so on. And human rights. My sister works in a little bit more rarefied atmosphere. She was telling me, I met these guys at a party. And they're all saying, We won't go anywhere near this vaccine. जो अमीर लोग हैं आपस में पार्टी में बोलते हैं, क्योंकि सभी को मालूम है वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरर कौन है, सब दोस्त लोग हैं वगैरह, सब लोग कह रहे हैं कि हम वैक्सीन लेने वाला नहीं है, ये खतरनाक वैक्सीन है, हम लेने वाला. So it's like an open secret for the rich, and it's like a tragedy for the working class people. So that's all I want to say. I want to thank you all for everything that you did. All the, give me a second only. Yeah? And the only thing now is, where will the Supreme Court do? Will it support the parents? We don't want them to, we want them just to give a fair hearing to the parents and look at the data carefully. But I want to thank Awaken India movement and the parents and all the victims. Supreme Court कुछ भी करे, हम अगर बोलते रहेंगे angrily, politely नहीं, not politely. ऐसा very respectful बातें मत करना किसी से. No respectful talk. We have lost our children. We are full of anger. हमें गुस्सा है और हमें सरकार के खिलाफ, मीडिया के खिलाफ, वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चर के खिलाफ हमें जोर से बोलना है. Only then will there be some change in the attitude of the people in power in this country. That's all. Thank you.